How does this become this? And then back to this. Computers supposedly do everything with ones and zeros, but programs contain instructions, calculations, and logic. If this happens, do that. If a user clicks this button, open that window. If the player's health reaches 0, end the game. How can all that possibly be reduced to 2 numbers? Today we're following one tiny program into the computer and back again. First, there are not actually tiny ones and zeros racing around inside your computer. A 1 and a 0 are simply the names we give to different electrical states. You can roughly think of them as low, high, off, on, and 0, 1. The exact voltages depend on your hardware. What matters is that computers can reliably tell the 2 states apart. Put several of these states together and you can represent numbers. 8 bits makes up 1 byte. This pattern represents the number 72. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Here's 64 plus 8 is 72. And in the ASCII character system, 72 represents the capital H. So here are 3 different ways of showing the same underlying value. But this binary representation doesn't automatically mean H. It means H only when a program interprets that number as an ASCII character. The same bit pattern could represent a number, a color, part of a sound, or even part of an instruction. Context gives the bits meaning. When I press the H key, the keyboard does not send the concept of an H into the computer. It sends a small numeric code identifying the key I pressed. Here, basic software translates the key press into the character value for H, and that value is stored in memory using bits. The same thing happens for and every other character. The word print is stored as numbers too. An old basic interpreter might recognize print as a special keyword and store a compact token, meaning perform the basic print command. When we run the program, something has to translate our human readable instructions into machine language. Machine language is the processor's actual instruction set. It contains extremely small operations, such as load a value, store a value, add 2 values, compare 2 values, jump to another instruction set. Each processor family has its own machine language. An Intel processor does not use the exact same instruction code as an ARM processor or the processor in an old Atari. Humans usually represent machine instructions using assembly language, something like load 72, print or call print character. But those words are only human-friendly labels. The processor receives numeric instruction codes, often called like opcodes, along with any data those instructions need. That exact binary depends on the processor, but the idea is the same. First pattern might mean load a value. The second pattern might mean the value, load 72. The CPU repeatedly performs 3 basic steps: fetch, decode, execute. It fetches an instruction from memory, decodes which operation that bit pattern represents, and then executes it. It represents this code millions or billions of times every second. But consider this. At the machine language level, that might become a sequence resembling load player's health, compare it with 0. If they're not equal, jump past the next section, or print game over. That is basically how an if statement works underneath. So even complicated program logic ultimately becomes long sequences of very simple operations. Load, compare, jump, add, store. The complexity does not come from one brilliant instruction. It comes from enormous numbers of simple instructions arranged in exactly the right order. Now our print routine reads the numeric value representing H and sends it to the display system. But a screen cannot display the abstract concept of H. It needs pixels. Time for the journey home. The computer uses a font containing a small image of each character. A simple H might look like this. Those pixels can also be represented as bits. The graphics hardware turns those values into colors for individual pixels. The screen receives the signal and lights them accordingly. The process repeats for every letter until we finally see So how can an intensely logical program be reduced to zeros and ones? Because the logic is not inside the ones and zeros. The bits are simply values. The logic exists in the arrangements of machine instructions and in the physical circuitry built to execute them. Transistors create logic gates create processors and memory. Machine language controls the hardware. Programming languages give humans a manageable way to create the machine language, and the results travel back through those layers until numbers become letters, colors, sounds, and everything else we experience on a computer. Our message went from words to numbers to machine instructions to electrical states, and then all the way back through illuminated pixels into words again.